Hey there, welcome back, guys. So, this is going to be part three of starting over in your 40s and 50s after a divorce or separation. So, this is part three. So, first of all, welcome. Welcome to Happy Life, Better Life. Now, you might see I have my glasses on, and it's for a good reason because today we're going to talk about perception. Changing your perception. Oh my gosh. Listen, the way you see things going through this crucial place in your life will have a lot to do with it will impact how stressed you are. It will impact whether you go through it in a way that is triumphant and victorious, or whether you go through it in a way that is burdensome, in a way that is depressed. Your outlook, the way you see things, will definitely impact how you travel through this place, okay? So the first thing is, I will say, I'll use myself as an example here. Um, so we talked in the last video basically about how I transitioned from living with my aunt, and then moving into my own apartment, my very first apartment. So I had a one bedroom apartment, and at the time, my ex, he worked over the road a lot, and so my children would come and stay with me. So even though they lived with him in the three bedroom, home and everything, they would come to my apartment a lot, and for for good reason, because I cooked. So even during the week and stuff, they would come and I would cook and stuff, and I would even send dinner back with them, sometimes even for their dad and stuff like that, because by that time when I moved out and stuff, even though things were tumultuous in the initial beginning, when we the day we broke up and stuff, I didn't want to hold on to any animosity, any because of our children. I didn't want to hold on to any animosity, any anger. And like I know, a lot of times we will do things for our children. Sometimes we stay in the relationship longer than we should because of our children. And then things go from bad to worse. And then you think that you were sparing them from having some kind of heartache or grief, when all along you were just kind of prolonging it, and they were being damaged by seeing the way that the two parents were treating each other, or getting along or not getting along, and all those kinds of things, because sometimes we think that they don't know, but they know. So during that time, I was in this one bedroom apartment, and my outlook was that, okay, I'm going to make this work, because as I said in part two, it was like, if this doesn't work, it's all on you. So I was determined to be successful. So I told you how the very first thing that I had was a actual blow up mattress. It was one you plug in, and it was a pretty high one, but that's what I had initially, and I had an iron and an ironing board. So as things progressed, which they did, yay, I purchased furniture, a living room set, and a kitchen set, and it actually was like a table, two chairs, and then it had a bench to it, and I loved that set because it was my favorite color, which was green. And I began to progress from there, and I had a television and a television stand, and I bought curtains, and then I didn't just have like a sofa in my living room. I had this beautiful, beautiful, like Victorian cream sofa, and then I had these like scalloped back chairs in the corner of the room by the windows, and they were cream and beautiful. And listen, I was so happy, happy about making this house a home. And I eventually got bunk beds for the bedroom, because, like I said, I had three kids, and I wanted my children to be able to stay with me if they wanted to. And I said, hey, it's going to be like we're living in the dorm together. I said it's going to get you prepared for going to college and whatever the next step is. This is what we're going to do. And I was happy about it. So rather than making it like this sad state of affairs, I was happy with every new thing, and I learned to be so appreciative. So right through here, gratitude. Gratitude is key for the small things, for the big things, for everything. You know, when you go into things and you have a grateful heart, your perspective does change. And it changes for the better, and it helps you to get through things for the better, in a better way. So that's one of the things that I did. I had to change my perspective. So eventually the rent and everything was just so high. It was so expensive where I lived. I was living in Delaware at the time. And so my brother kept saying, you know what, you're starting over. Why don't you come up here with me? And he lived like in central PA, up in Cambria County, in a town called Lilly that nobody ever heard of. Nobody ever heard of this town. So I did. I actually ended up packing up everything. He came and helped me pack up, and some of my family that lived in the area, well, actually, they lived in PA, and I was in Delaware. They came to help see me off, and my daughter and I moved up there with my brother. We were moving up into the mountains, and my two sons initially stayed. They had their own place, and they stayed in Delaware. So as things moved on, I was looking for work because I wanted to move after I had everything in order. Like, I wanted to go there and get the job first, and I wanted to, I had this plan for how things were supposed to go. Oh, please, child, you can make your plans. Nobody said it's going to go according to your plans. You can plan all day long. You can have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C, but none of those plans may come into fruition. However, be pliable. Be flexible. You may have to do things in a way that's unconventional initially. So when we moved and I was looking for jobs, the first job that came through was at Walmart. And I had been working at banks. I had been working at for school districts, and then I worked in nonprofit. And let me tell you, Walmart was beneath every one of those things. And I'm not coming against people who work for Walmart. I have the utmost respect for people who do that job, for people who do those kinds of things, because even though the pay was not great, that was some hard work. I just want you to know, standing on your feet all day, lifting stuff, moving stuff, talking to people, dealing with irate customers, and trying to keep a smile on your face and do these things the whole time. That was something that was a challenge. And I probably had not been paid what I was making there probably since I was a teenager. Like, I'm going to be real with you. You're talking about maybe $7-8 an hour. And it just was not a lot. And you couldn't do a lot with it. But while I was trying for other jobs, I wanted to keep myself busy, because that's part of occupying your time while you're waiting for the doors to open. And I also wanted to have something coming in. Now, let me say also, like my ex, he was very gracious in that he actually, he would, send money to my brother to even help, because I had my daughter with me. So, that was a blessing as well. But I'm just giving you my story, so if things were much easier for you and you already had the job or you got to stay in your home and stuff, that is wonderful. But I know that there's somebody out there that's like me, and they were struggling, and they were, trying to do the best that they can. And I was not struggling as bad as I could have been, because listen, I had my brother and I had my sister, and sometimes you're going through an emotional healing and stuff at that time. And so it's good to have other people around you who are positive and who are cheering you on and who are supporting you and saying, I've got you, you're not in this by yourself. And that was a tremendous blessing. So one of the things that I had to watch that I want to sort of just kind of give you a heads up about today was I had to watch what I was speaking. Because at one point I kept saying, oh my gosh, it's so hard starting over in your 40s. It's so hard starting over. And I'm telling you, the more I said that, the harder it felt. And then I had to change my perspective. And I began to say, you know what? You might feel like you're at the bottom, but if that's the case, there's no place for you to go but up. There's no place to go but up. So you're in a great place right now. And that's what I want to say to you. You're in a great place right now because you get to create, the life that you want and long for. You just get to the place where you need to just be optimistic about it. You need to believe that what you really want to do is possible. And so that's what I did. I continued to just speak of starting over. Like, oh man, this is a great day to be alive. This is a great day to start over. Look at what's ahead of me, and there was a song. Oh, let me tell you, get a theme song. Might sound funny, but get a theme song. A song that pumps you up, that makes you happy no matter how you're feeling. That song that kind of pushes you through. So my song was a Kirk Franklin song, and it was it could have been me. It was Kirk Franklin and Ty Tribbett. And some of the lyrics were, it could have been me without no food, without no clothes, and no shoes, all these things, basically saying it could have been me in that place who didn't have these things. And but it had like a really nice beat to it and vibe to it, and I would blast that on my radio in the car when I was on my way to work, because I was going to work at Walmart, and I would be like, man, this kind of sucks, I'm not going to lie, but I was like, yeah, but it could have been me with no clothes, no shoes, and no food to eat, and that's not me. So I'm just going to rejoice and be grateful for what I have. And that would just pump me up, and I could go into work and still have a smile. And the other thing was about your perception. Even though it was Walmart and we had a uniform that we had to wear, let me tell you something. I would find shirts, I would get stuff, whether it was from the thrift store or wherever, get it on sale. And I would be wearing my blue shirts and my khaki pants, and or my khaki skirt, I would dress that stuff up. And I would go in there looking like I was getting ready to go into the office and work somewhere, because I would have my colors on. But hey, I had to have comfortable shoes because I was going to be standing for like 7 hours. So anyway, I say that to say I did all that to pump myself up. I did all that to keep me in a space of thinking, that I'm going to be successful in this. And so the last thing that I want to say was, by doing that, doors begin to open. Doors begin to open for me. Doors open for a job. Doors open for a house. And, my little house was the cutest little house. I mean, it was just the cutest little thing. And it was like a little cottage, and I had a big yard for my dog to run around in. And my daughter and I were happy there. And I lived there for about 5 years until I was ready to transition into something else. And it was a beautiful house, and it had what I wanted. I wanted to make sure I had 1.5 baths, and I had that. And listen, Linda, as they say. Hey, you are in a place where you get to start over. And it might not have come the way you wanted. It might not have come neatly packaged. It might not have been according to the plans that you had, but you are in this new place, and your perception, will determine how things work out for you. It's like they say that your attitude determines your altitude. So look at things from a very optimistic point of view, and keep pressing forward, and know that you were not alone, and just continue to strive for what you really want, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't have it. So thank you for joining me today. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I would appreciate your comments, anything that you want to share, any questions that you have. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a happy life and a better life. Bye-bye.